Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my third and last alternative cards ideas using the April 2023 paper pumpkin kit called All the Little Things. This beautiful kit creates 9 handmade cards for many different occasions. These are the intended cards you can make with the kit. There are enough supplies to make 3 of each card. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. Today I am sharing a fun and simple layout you can use with many different images and pattern papers. I hope you give this card a try. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin and are interested in getting your own monthly crafting kit, you can subscribe using the link in the description below. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any questions you may have about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Products. You can contact me through my email address, which is listed at the bottom of the description of every video. So let's first talk about the pieces we're going to be using on our cards. So from yesterday's video, I have these leaves left over from the larger leaf die cut. And then I also have this branch of flowers here. And we're going to separate this branch of flowers into 2 sections so that we can create 2 cards with it. So to do that, I'm just going to cut right here between this section at the bottom and then this section at the top. And to make it feel more smooth and complete, I'm going to trim. I'm going to kind of follow this shape right here around this petal and then come up and around and down to the branch and then come back up to separate that. So do you see how I did that? Then here I'm going to finish by making this feel nice and smooth. I'll come in a little bit and come back out. So I'm just going to follow along this flower and these 2 petals. I'm going to come down and then back up, follow along that flower, then come back up and around to follow along the branch, and then this little bud right here, and then smooth out to connect to the existing white space all the way around. I might actually make that a little thinner since I cut a little close to the top. Okay, so once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the leaves. So we're going to create another leaf branch with these extra leaves here. So we're going to use, do you see this large leaf? It's the same one as this one here. And then we're going to leave this here, but we're going to cover it up with one of these leaves down here. And then we're going to do the same with this one. We're going to kind of create a faux leaf over here, keep this one, and then create another faux leaf up the top. So we're going to cut out this one, keep this one with the branch, and same with that one, and then cut those 2 out there. And we're going to keep the white area around. So that's our first piece. You can smooth out any edges if you need to, just like we have on our other cards. And then let's go ahead and separate these 2 leaves here. You're going to want to kind of do a nice thin border so that you can have a border on both. And smooth out a little bit. There. Okay, so those 2. And then this one in the corner. And you can go ahead and separate that from the branch just a little bit. Okay, so it's going to end up looking like that. So I'll show you the pieces again that we're going to use. Okay. And that's for this one here with the small flower, and then the large flower we're going to use on the petal pink card. Okay, so let's talk really quickly about the layout. So this layout consists of two pieces. We have a large piece and then we have a small piece. And this is the balmy blue piece from the kit. It's got kind of an ombre look, so it goes from balmy blue to white. I'm hoping that shows up well in the video. What I'm going to do is I am going to cut this section here at the bottom off, and then we're going to rotate it to the bottom here so that we have white and blue, and then we have a strip of blue at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. So we have white, blue, and then that part is rotated. So we're going to cut this so that it's a square. So this width here is 3.5. So I'm going to cut 3.5 going from the white edge is what I'm going to line up at the 3.5, and I'm going to cut off the blue. Okay, so 3.5 and trim, and that's going to give you a piece that is 1.25 by 3.5, which will fit nicely across the bottom like this. And that's the fun layout that I'm sharing with you today. So we're going to do the same thing for our petal pink card, but we're going to use a piece from the envelope. So we're going to use this bottom section. So the flap is going to be the bottom section, and then this piece will be the top section. So let's first trim off the flap, and then go ahead and remove a little section from all the other folded edges. And this is going to separate the front of the envelope from the back of the envelope, giving us a nice piece that we can work with. So that's the piece here, and here's the back. Okay. So from this piece, I'm going to cut a square that is 3.5 inches. Just like that. And then from the flap, I'm going to cut a piece that is 3.5 inches by 1.25 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and line up this flap here. So it's not the long side, it's either of the short sides. I'm going to line that up at 3.5 inches and then rotate again and cut at 1.25. Okay, and that will give me that bottom piece. So you can use this with so many different pattern papers. Have a pattern on the top and then have a pattern on the bottom. So let's go ahead and add these pieces to our paper so you can see how to make this faux branch in the back. So you're just going to start kind of laying things out. Don't add anything yet with dimension or with adhesive. So this one kind of gets added over that one. And then we've got this one that gets tucked up near the top. And then we have this one that goes at the top, and that straight edge sits. Oh, I want to rotate this so that the white's on the right side. Probably doesn't really matter, but I like that look. Okay, so we'll do that again. And then once you kind of have everything where you want it, you can start to add it with adhesive. Okay, so it's going to look something like that. And then you're going to cover up that opening with your flowers. So anywhere that needs to kind of be covered. So this little flower needs to cover that straight edge. So it's going to look something like that. And then this leaf can come down a little bit more to cover that. This one can come out just a little bit more. And this one kind of comes over just a little bit. I think I want this one up a little higher, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that section from the branch. So So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off. Okay. So let's go ahead and place this down first with some adhesive. I'm adding it so that it's close to that left side. And then this, I'm popping up the flowers with dimensionals, which will make it easy to be able to tuck in those other leaves. So make sure to leave plenty of space along the outside edge so that you can do that. Make sure when you add your flower that you cover up that straight edge there. Oh, that got adhered. So it's going to look something like this. This will be your first step. And then you can take your other pieces. I want to kind of round that off a little bit. That feels really jagged. And add a little adhesive behind this leaf. And I'm going to tuck it between these two flowers right here. Then I'll take this larger one and add it to the left. It's going to kind of come down like that. And then the top one will get added at the top near the flower. Just like that. All right, let's go ahead and move to card number 2 really quick, because this one's a lot faster. We're just going to add the flowers to that center with dimensionals. And that just goes right in the center of that square. Just like that. Okay, so for this piece, we're not doing any stamping on that unless you want to have a nice long greeting like this one. I am going to stamp on this piece, however, my greeting. This is the blue 1 1/4 piece that we cut out off of this piece here. So just in case you're like, where did that come from? That's the strip. And I want to do, I'm grateful for all the little things you do. I love this greeting. I think it's super cute. I love the way it's, the fonts and the way it's centered. It's a really cute one. So that one I'm going to just place right in the center of that blue strip. And then what happens, this is the layout part. What happens is we're going to pop it up above all of the elements to cover up this raw edge right there. Okay, so that's what we're also going to do with this piece, is we're going to pop it up and place it at the bottom. The only difference is I did not stamp on this, but I can if I want to. I did decide to stamp on one of the labels that came in the kit. So I'm going to use this circle. This is the Petal Pink circle. I wanted to use, though, the white side, and I'm using the Enjoy Your Day greeting. Again, use whatever greetings you want for these cards. Okay, so that stamping is all done. Now I only had a little bit of twine left, and so that's what I'm going to add to this card here. And then I'm going to use that Calypso Coral for the other card. So this is the Calypso Coral line of circles. Okay, so let's just go ahead and finish this card really quick while we're talking about it. So at the top, I'm going to add some dimensionals, and that is going to adhere over the back. So use your grid paper to make sure everything's nice and straight, and you're just going to adhere it maybe about a 1/2 inch from the bottom. just like that. Isn't that fun? Then I'm going to share with you a fun little trick. So I did not have a lot of my black twine left, but I wanted to do a wrap around and then a little bow. So I went ahead and cut about 10 inches for my bow, and that left me about 5 inches or so, 4 or 5 inches. And so I'm going to take this smaller piece and I'm going to wrap it around to the back, and I'm going to hold it in place with a glue dot. So right where that top edge meets, I'm going to place a glue dot. So the top of that bottom piece. Doesn't want to stay. There. So go ahead and remove the paper backing on both of those pieces or glue dots, and then you're going to add your twine, wrap it around, and add it to the back. And press hard to make sure it stays in place. Okay, so you see how it is showing a little bit of the top, but that's okay. When you add this to your card base, you do want to make sure that you sandwich that twine with another glue dot or two, just to make sure it doesn't pull out and off of your card. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and place those now. Then you're going to take your 10 inches of twine and you're going to wrap it around your first one. Place your ends together. And tie a knot. You don't need to do a double knot here, just a single knot is fine. And then you can do a bow. You just want to be careful that you don't yank really hard, because the twine that's on the back is just being secured with a little bit of glue. So then once you have that, you can tie it nice and tight, and you've got this really cute bow that doesn't use too much twine. So this is ready for my card base. So we'll just place that off to the side and add that in just a second. Let's go to our second card. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to add some glue dots, or not glue dots, sorry, dimensionals, and then cover up this at about a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Just like that. Super cute. I love how it looks like this piece is coming out behind that pattern paper. And then you can take your strips and you're just going to cut 2 off of one. So that way you can get the length here. Add a little bit of glue. And you're going to add that to one side. And then where'd the other piece go? There. And you'll add that to the other side. And then your circle should cover up that opening there. Perfect. And you'll just pop that on with a dimensional. I'm going to just make sure it only goes on that top piece. And I did want to place it, instead of straight, I wanted my greeting to be a little bit off to the center, like that. Super cute. For this one, I did add the circles off a little bit. This one, I lined it up with the edge. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and add these to a center of a coordinating colored cardstock. For this one, I'm using Shaded Spruce, and I'm also going to place it so that the edges, like the border on the left and right, is about the same distance as the top, which is going to give me a little bit more space here at the bottom. So cute. And then this one I'm adding to a card base of petal pink and doing the same thing. Even border on the sides, top, and then a little larger at the bottom. And I did add a little bit of dimensional at the bottom of this piece here, just to kind of support that edge as well. I did that on this one too. You can kind of see a little bit of the dimensional there. Okay. And then the very last thing that I did is I have just a couple of these beautiful iridescent rhinestones that came from the kit left over. I've got 5 of them, so I'm just going to add 5 to this card. This card already has a little bit of embellishment with that twine. So if you want to add 1, 2 at the bottom near your greeting. Originally, I just placed 1 near the flowers, but I'm going to go ahead and finish using up these 2. And I'm going to place 1 like right there, I think. So we've got those 5 rhinestones on our petal pink card, and then I've used the last of my black twine on my shaded spruce. Originally, if you have some extra rhinestones left over, I did place a rhinestone here, and that covers up that little black mark that's in the white, and then I added 2 more rhinestones near the top, near my flowers. And that is all for my 3rd alternative project. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create these fun cards with the April 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you would like to subscribe to get your own kit, please do so using the link in the description below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.